What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the officially unofficial
Unofficial.
I'm so damn confused.
podcast of Peacemaker. I'm your host, H. This is my co-host, E,
What up?
and this is On Structure.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to the General, Dirk, and also David Awesome Gamer. H, there's a lot of shenanigans going on in this episode. Let's get unstructured.
This was a change of pace for the show. So the first three episodes,
Yeah.
my opinions, they were really good, better than anyone expected. The show is, in a way, awful, but awfully good.
Huh? Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'll be honest. This show was not on my radar as one of the shows that was gonna, be incredibly good. Because, let's face it, the Suicide Squad movie wasn't like the best, but it wasn't bad. It was better than the previous. And the show is just from the opening, it grabbed me. It's
Yeah, you love the
funny.
intro. You never get over the
It
intro.
has some of these unexpected funny moments, and they use very serious topics, and they make it
It's
entertaining.
amazing how they slide them in there and
Yeah.
they make it conversational.
They're making funny. Now, Disney episode, let's say, can they recapture that magic again? But what they did was, instead of keeping the same pace, they kind of changed the pace of the show.
They did some character development.
Character development. So now we see the relation more. We learn more about the relationship of Chris Peacemaker with his dad. We learn more about the background of his dad and what happened with his brother.
Yeah.
That's something that's a key element to the story. We learn more about Adebayo's relationship with her mother,
her
Amanda
mother.
Waller.
Exactly.
And we learn more about the butterflies and some of the cast in this show. What do you think of this episode?
I thought this episode was good. It didn't hit as hard as the other episodes, but I think that's because it was, again, developing more of the characters in this particular episode. One of the things that we got to see Vigilante really shine
What?
this episode.
Yes, Adrian Chase. Yeah, he took a big lead in this episode. More personality, even more than what he's already shown. More depth to his character. We see his moral code. This guy is so loyal and wants to be the best friend of Peacemaker that just by a comment that Adebayo made, the Leora Adebayo made about Peacemaker's dad, like he goes to jail, gets himself in prison, and he just goes in and just starts whooping butt, left and right.
Yeah, I mean, he went to jail and smuggled in a can of whip ass. And whooped everybody's ass. But let's talk about how he went to jail because what did he do? He threw a trash can into a window, and
While the
before
cops
that-
watch.
Yeah, they were sitting there watching.
He's watching,
Is anybody going to stop him, or are they too concerned about their lunch? What's going on?
they're like, what is this guy doing? Like, just think about it. Put yourself in the shoes of the cop, right? You're watching this guy try to, because he looked like at first that he was struggling to grab the trash can, and then
It's like, what is this jerk doing?
he half-assed through against the window.
I didn't think he was going to be able to pick it up. To be honest
He
with you.
cracked the window, but nothing really happened to it. Like,
I mean,
it's
listen,
cracked, it's messed up. They need to replace it.
How does the saying go? If you see something, say something.
yeah.
This crime could have been prevented.
For real, he ends up going to the same jail, and all this in an attempt to be a good friend. We saw that he has some kind of discourse with Peacemaker on, hey, he thanks him for letting him be tortured. And not talking like, yeah, thanks for letting me torture. It made me a better person, a better man.
I don't think he believed that for 1 second. Obviously, he was upset about that, and it was hilarious how committed Peacemaker was to not giving up that information at all.
In a way, I feel like in that interaction, Peacemaker acted very much like his father acts to him. Like, you know how he's trying to get his father's approval
Yeah,
all the time, and he was telling him stories about how great he is, and his dad doesn't give in, not even an inch.
no.
And he kind of did somewhat the same here with Adrian Chase.
He was unflinching. He didn't have a worry or a care in the world about how many toes Vigilante lost.
We good over here, baby.
I mean, hey, listen, if you lose 3 toes, You got 7 others. Walk it
Hey,
off.
if he loses a pinky, he could lose 2 or 3 toes. As long as he doesn't lose a shoulder, he's still good.
Exactly. And that is the name of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
The show Let's Travel. So
Look it up.
yeah, we look it up. Don't look it up. At least not at work.
Yeah.
NSFW for sure.
Yeah.
So we see that there was a lot of emphasis here in the parent relationships. We see the Peacemaker and his dad's relationship being so strained, and Peacemaker, he's his dad. He's defending it to it, to the max. He finds out that it was their fault that his dad was actually end up going to jail, and we see how he reacts to that. But then we also see him dealing with whatever had happened to his brother, meaning that he's somewhat blamed for it of that situation. So that's because of the trauma, and we see how he's being brought up. We see all these little flashbacks on how he shapes this guy to be so oblivious to what he's doing that he thinks he's a superhero. No matter how many men, women, and children he has to eliminate for peace.
It don't matter. Hey, if they not here, we still will have peace. It's all good.
It's very similar to Leota's and Amanda Waller. So we have Leota, Amanda Waller, somewhat in the same situation, slightly different. The one time that we saw Amanda Waller communicate with Leota, she was more positive. Like, yeah, you're very talented.
Which was uncharacteristic of her, because everybody knows her as this, like,
Amanda Waller is a hard ass.
Yeah, she's a hard ass. She's a warmonger. She doesn't care about anybody's feelings. It reminds me of a old Jay-Z song, "Fuck Your Feelings." But she, nobody likes her really. But she has a soft spot for her daughter. At least from what we saw on those limited interactions, she has a soft spot for her. And
quick sidebar. Sorry to interrupt
ahead.
you. Quick sidebar. I had to give it up to Viola Davis. She plays the character Amanda Waller.
Amazing.
Even though we only seen like just a little glimpse of her, and we've seen her in the movie, of course. She portrays that character so well that it is hard for me to see anyone else play the character of Amanda Waller. Like if we to go back a few years ago and in the Arrowverse, we had a different actress portray Viola Davis, much younger actress portraying Viola Davis, and I don't know. You ever watch Spartacus?
Nope.
What the hell are you talking about?
You never watched Spartacus?
The one that was on what was it?
Stars.
Yeah, no, I only got past like the first episode. I was like, I'm good.
Let this man know in the comments how good is Spartacus. I know you all.
Is it really? Let me know.
Spartacus is it's dope.
Okay.
So one of the characters, one of the actresses from that show is the one portraying Amanda Waller in the Arrowverse in the CW show, and yeah, she did good. She did a good job. But when we compare the level that Viola Davis brings to this character,
she has presence.
She's
already established.
She becomes that character. She's Amanda Waller.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that little bit there. I know you were talking about the relationship between.
No, you're
Viola.
absolutely right. And I mean, Viola Davis, she's a critically acclaimed actress, and she has presence, and she definitely brings something extra to that role. So
any role she plays, she's amazing. Role,
she's amazing. Absolutely. So kudos to her. And getting back to the characters, the dynamic between the mother and the daughter, the mother has a soft side, and this
somewhat of a soft side for her daughter.
Yeah, but she also has an agenda, and we don't know what that agenda is.
There's something behind it. Amanda Waller never does just anything, and she's putting the person I guess she trusts the most. Although we know that she doesn't trust people, she's trusting her daughter the most, and we see that Leota is trying to live up to that expectation. But she's never killed. She's never eliminated anyone. And we see her that she's struggling with that decision. We see the repercussions of that. Because in the last episode, she failed to do that, and that caused some issues, right?
That caused major strife within the team. It's like, if we go into battle and you don't have my back, then I can't trust you. I don't want to go in there with you. And that's old school. That's already established. So she has to improve her worth and prove that she's supposed to be on the team, because they already were doubting her from the beginning, which was already stated by her boss, Clemson, and also by Amelia, that, why are you here? your credentials don't line up and everything like that, and then they actually get into a situation, and she falls apart.
Now we see, let's think back to the conversation she had with Amelia Harcourt, right? Where after she shoots someone for the first time, she's asking, does he ever? I guess does he ever go away? Does it get better? She's like, no, he never leaves you. I guess you learn to live with it. So it was a
Yeah.
very, very,
It was a very honest, and they were
yeah.
connecting at that moment, well, which was big for their relationship development. So now at least they have some ground that or foundation that they can build on, build a relationship on.
No, certainly. So now, uh, that's just to put it a little sidebar here, just a little geek moment on my side.
Uh huh.
So the callbacks to a lot of the comic book stuff from the costume that we find in the layer in that quantum room that that Peacemakers that has he has a the costume of the White Dragon,
White Dragon.
which in the comics from the research that we
I think I've
did,
seen him in a Dave. He was there.
so in the comics he plays he's a super villain that's a Nazi leader at the time. So man, the way this show is able to bring even just as like a small Easter egg, right? It was like a small glimpse at it, and they play with these very delicate topics, and they're making it funny and acceptable in a way.
Dude, I mean, no, there hasn't. These are like third rail topics, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, things when you're in the writing booth, things that you don't talk about, race, misogyny, and if short
They-
people
They hit all of it.
Come on, I've got to do it. I've got to.
is entertaining, but they also address the issue, and they address the conversation and make it more approachable. The topic overall more approachable, I think, is good.
No, certainly. And then we see all the different, like Peacemaker goes in and grabs almost every helmet. Which, yes, when I first saw the helmets in that layer, I'm like, he gets only one of them. I'm like, man, grab all those helmets.
Oh my god, I want them all.
He has like
Yeah,
X-ray
it's like, what are you
vision.
doing?
He has a shield. And you said one of them had like a mohawk. I want to now. I'm invested into the show. I want to see what all these helmets do. They look ridiculous.
We already seen what
But
one
they're
does,
useful.
and that one blows hard bodies apart.
Cracks the hard body, right?
Exactly.
No, man. Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind looking stupid if my helmet's gonna be that powerful. My hat's gonna just protect me in that way.
Yeah.
We also see that Peacemaker is dealing with his trauma with his brother, but we find a little secret. He kept a butterfly.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah. So it was surprising that he did to start off with. And
Why would he keep it, right?
yeah, exactly. That is like, what are you going to do with it? That was my next question. But we see what he does with it. He gets the butterfly high. Why? I
He
don't know.
literally blows some smoke into the butterflies thing. And in a way, it looks to me he's befriending the butterfly.
Yeah.
We already know from what Judo Master says that the butterfly is not what you think. So are they might not be evil. They might be a
Yeah.
force for good. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. I hope
Yeah,
we do.
and let's talk about that for a second because Judo Master was going to explain what the butterflies are and why they're good, but he got shot by
Leota.
Sorry, he got shot by Leota, and the thing is like, how are you that good a shot from that far away with the pistol? She was like, I don't know, 30 yards away. That's kind of challenging.
I don't think. I mean, I can't recall that particular scene as good as you.
She was like behind two cars.
yeah,
Yeah.
she made Judo Master fly back with that shot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, how are you that
And did he
good?
survive? Because I guess he survived.
He
right?
survived. Little body,
Little
lots of
body.
power.
It's crazy. So going back to the butterfly, so we see that Peacemaker is befriending the butterfly, and he's kind of curious because he lied to Mern. Yeah, I just shot the butterfly when he was flying. So he's lying. He's hiding something. We know he doesn't trust Mern,
Yeah,
and he kind of has a good reason to, right?
exactly.
And at the end, towards the end of the episode, we see the John Cena or Peacemaker lie in the ground, kind of convulsing, thinking of his brother and how his brother died, which he feels that he's blamed for. We don't see if he's the one who caused it, but we're probably gonna learn more about that.
See, and I
as the
thought
episodes go.
you pointed that out, and I thought he actually did cause it. uh, but we they make us believe that that's what happened, but clearly there's more to the story that they're not showing on purpose. So, because of that fact, thank you for pointing that out. Because of that fact, I think you're right. He didn't cause it, but he was there, obviously, because he has a memory. And there's going to be more to that story, which I think that the dad's going to be responsible. That's just a guess.
Maybe the dad or something else. And let's don't forget, this is a comic book type show, right? Superhero show.
Yeah.
So what if the bro is not really dead? He comes back as a nemesis or antagonist to Peacemaker.
Why not? Why not?
Could be Hellraiser or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or White Dragon 2.
And then finally, the surprise of the episode.
Yeah.
Mern, let us know what the mouth do.
Check this out.
What was that?
Oh man, Mern's tongue can reach his lap. This is crazy.
It's a butterfly. It's not a bird, the Birdman, but it's a butterfly man.
He's a butterfly. This is going to cause problems. It's interesting because in last week's episode, not this week, you had a butterfly chasing a butterfly. So what's that about? What's the?
It's undercover, in my opinion. I think
Exactly. So that leads to the question: hey, what's the agenda of the butterflies?
so. If we take a bird's eye view of this,
Or a
we
butterfly's eye view?
the butterfly's view of this, so we see that Mern is assigned by Amanda Waller to run this team, but Amanda Waller is always a step ahead. I refuse to believe she doesn't suspect
I
something.
see where you're going with this.
She also puts her daughter as a plant in this team,
I
right?
wonder why.
She gives him a ragtag doll of a team, right?
Yeah,
Because she
exactly.
doesn't like Emilia Hardcore. Because if you recall back to Suicide Squad, I think she was the one who had knocked her out or was
Oh,
part
was
of the
it her?
people. I don't know if she was her. I can't remember
looked like
again, but she
somebody
was
else.
part of the group
Okay.
of those who still supported the team,
Yeah.
even after Amanda was unconscious. And I guess her punishment is to be part of this team.
Okay.
So maybe there's something there that Amanda's trying to expose the butterflies, knowing that Mern has become a butterfly,
Clear-
and her daughter's gotta be that connection that person's gonna expose them
Clearly,
all.
I mean, clearly there's issues of trust for the people in that group, and we don't know who she has an issue with. But one of the people that I wouldn't trust is John Economy's beard.
I don't trust you.
He's so happy. He's like knocked out this poor judo master, hit him with a car, and it's just
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about that for a second? How he got beat up with one kick?
yeah, it's like
Dude came out with the
guys
Cheetos.
hitting him with the Cheetos, just kicks him like right into the couch.
Oh man,
Got a little bit of payback for the little man.
he's like, "Yo, you disturbed my lunch. Sit down." Getting back to Amanda Waller, she clearly doesn't trust somebody on that team, and there is
or anyone on that. I don't think she trusts anyone. Well, Amanda doesn't
she
trust
trusts her-
anybody, right?
Yeah, she trusts her daughter. She
Yeah.
trusts her, which is why she planted her in there. So that's the issue. Someone is not being trusted. Someone has done something to be deemed as untrustworthy. She wants to get an inside scoop, and she put her daughter in there to see what the hell is going on. And we'll find out who that is later on.
Hopefully in the next episode. I'm excited for next week's episode. Remember, guys, this show is every Thursday, and then we will review the following day. And now, just a bigger question:
Yep.
thinking of the future.
Yeah.
This is part of the DCEU, and based on the notes, it's supposed to be part of the current DCEU universe with Ben Affleck and all these people. But the word is the new Flash movie that's being made called Flashpoint. For those
Flash forward.
Flashpoint.
No, my bad.
It's a very serious topic.
It was a
right?
guess. Yeah.
So for those who are in the know, and this is a very popular storyline where the Flash races through time and he changes certain things and everything gets all changed. So a lot of
Should have been
rumors.
called Flash forward, but go on.
There's a lot of rumors circulating about this that they're trying to erase what Zack Snyder's done with the rest of the universe to
Okay.
kind of create and incorporate their own universe now, a brand new universe with characters. I wonder what role this show is gonna play in that. If they're trying to do the same thing as Marvel and have other show interconnecting to a universe, or are we gonna go just have
it would be
individual
smart.
movies?
It would just be smart to do it. I know that there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of coordination and possible leaks and stuff like that. But in the world today, where there's so much information about these shows being analyzed, you gotta have a platform where everybody's on the same playing field.
I mean, think about it. Look at what Marvel's done in Disney. We look at Disney Plus from the beginning of last year. You had the Scarlet Witch show. Then you had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then you had the can't remember
Hawkeye or
Hawkeye.
whatever?
Yeah, we had the
Hawkeye, sorry.
Hawkeye show,
There you
and we had the Loki show, and they're all somewhat interconnected. So
Yeah.
it kind of forces you. If you watch one, you have to watch the other one, and then you have to watch the movie to keep
Exactly.
the whole thing going.
It just makes
Smart.
sense. It just makes sense. It gives you clues and it keeps people entertained.
Sadly,
Because
DC
if
is not
things-
being able to capitalize on that. They failed every single attempt. Sadly to say.
Yeah, well, let's hope that eventually they get on the same book. But like to your point, it keeps everybody entertained, and we're at the point where people are overanalyzing everything. So you got to give them something to look at. You got to give them something to observe because people want to see what happens next. And if I can watch this show, and actually coordinate stuff and then see it come to fruition, and that seems fulfilling to me.
For sure. Well, I think that's it for today's episode for this video. We got a couple more reviews, guys, coming through this week. Check us out. If you made it to this part of the video,
This far.
this far, you made it.
Don't come this far and get nothing. Get a reward for it. Go ahead and
Help
hit that
us
like.
out. We have very aggressive goals for this year. We're still fairly new to this space, but give our video a like. That helps a ton. Like if you just watch the video, we are really appreciate it. Then just click that little button to a thumbs up. That's gonna help us a lot. Will help us with the algorithm, helps us grow.
Exactly.
Share that video with a friend, family member, in your own social medias if you want. Subscribe.
Help us become the #1 viewed reviewed show on YouTube.
Hey, aggressive goal.
We got a long
Take
way
it a
to go.
step further. You don't even have to go that far. Take it a step
Go
further.
ahead.
You want to help us out? Subscribe to the show.
There you go.
Just let people know. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. Leave us a comment.
That's it. Hey, listen. Thanks for watching. Until the next episode, I'm E. This is H, and we are.
On structure.
That's right.